Close to it.
Part two of the rant, featuring our very special guest Nathan Snow.
Thanks so much for coming on board today, Snowy.
My pleasure.
He earns 15,000 an hour, so to come and work for us for 2 hours, it's like 30 grand he's missing out on.
Oh, I thought you were saying we were paying.
No, we
30
grand.
grand.
We haven't got 30 grand because all the jockeys wise wrote letters. I don't care about jockeys. Well done. You must have great big brains out there.
Timmy writes, good question, good opening question for Nathan. Hey guys, would be interested in knowing if or how you review your own betting performance at the end of a meeting.
This is a great question for Snowy.
Cheers, love the show.
And he's saying if you've made the right moves, selections, etc. Snowy, Wall, what do you do?
No, I definitely, my mood after a race day is more dependent on how I've handled the day rather than whether I've won.
And I'm exactly the same. I'm exactly the same. I won on Saturday. I
got out late and I was dirty on the day. I didn't handle it right. Usually when you get out on the last couple, you're happy. But
880 on the quaddie. I put the last winner in the quaddie, and somehow or other I've managed to put 14 to 1 next to it somewhat prior to going to the races. And I left it out of the quaddie. Instead of outlaying 880, my figure should have been 920. I got 50 cents on an $88,000 dividend. That's 44,000. It's only about 400 times my net worth.
Just a little something.
All right, but the question's really...
It's funny.
Okay, so you've described your attitude after the last, but what do you do in terms of review? And
after each race, I'll quickly watch a replay of each run, and I'll look at the bets that I've had, and I'll say, well, I did get carried away back in that runner, or that might have been a mistake.
So you give yourself an uppercut and say,
you rant for a couple of minutes, say what a moron I am, and
do a bit of wally,
and then you move on to the next. Then you bring up the betting for the next, and away you go.
And you go, I'll do this. I won't do that again. And then the next race, you do it again.
And in terms of reviewing your own betting performance, obviously it's very, very important to keep track on what you've done, like keep records. Gord, you're a big record keeper and a reviewer of how you go on each track.
I find if I'm losing under particular circumstances, I don't play those circumstances anymore. I reduce my betting dramatically.
It's easier to find leaks that way, for sure.
Snowy's a big believer. He barred Hawkesbury 2 years ago.
Hawkesbury.
He came back for one meeting, one bet, and then he went back to the bar.
I've barred...
Sorry, was that because of the bet or...?
No, he rang me one day, I was going to Hawkesbury. He said, I'm back today, I like this thing, and then it was absolutely slaughtered or something happened, it didn't do any good. And then he just texted me back, bar back on, and he said, fuck off to Pollitt, you're a scab. He calls me a scab work when I go to Hawkesbury.
Yeah, well that's fair enough, because of all that bloody pouting you went on with.
Yeah, I know.
And you still go, all right, what do we do about Hawkesbury, Snowy, then? Because, I mean, okay, you're not betting there, which...
I still review the meetings and whatever, but the form is...
So are you previewing the meeting?
No.
Does that compromise your reviewing, given that they're horses within your sphere, and you're actually not looking at them beforehand?
Well enough most of the time.
You can forgive failures. You also
in a perfect world, you probably should preview it,
of course,
to then review it. But you have time, you got 3 kids, you got misses. It's just like got life, and next thing one week turns into a
It's about time management. A lot of my life now at the moment. It's about finding the most efficient way to do things.
So, speaking of the most efficient way to do things, obviously you were in the van with Ratings to Win, and you've been a long time Ratings to Win.
Love it.
Man, as have I.
Yep.
What's your particular Rating to Win experience?
Well, as I said to Paul, he sold me a rocket ship to go to the moon, and I use it to go to the shops to buy milk.
Still, it's handy to go straight to the shops.
It's very slick to get down there with, But it's just there's so much it can do that isn't that I haven't got my head around yet even, and I just use it for what I need it to use. And if I got a question, I call Paul straight away. He'll say, "Yeah, you just have to go do this," and
he's got to be the greatest hand holder I've ever come across.
Customer service of anyone, because I'm a computer nuffy. I was scared, petrified of transferring all my data somewhere and losing it.
You had all those notes in Excel, didn't you?
Someone in Excel, and then it was an Access program. Nick Thomas organised it for me, and I was using that for 6-7 years, and he moved all that stuff across to Ratings to Win. And he's another one of those people I have on Skype that I was talking about earlier. Smart guy, can bounce ideas off, and
he's a very, very good man to know, I must say.
But
So you got a rocket ship. Yeah, but you need to ring the Rocket Man sometimes to fly it for you.
How do I launch this puppy? But I like it's just so simple and easy to use, and that's really important for me. I'm pretty simple.
We're all simple.
Isn't it great? You have an idea in your head that you think is an angle to make money, and you can check it. You know what I mean? Because
but he's also
you can
very
make
good
mistakes.
The whole thing is constantly being updated because he's got ideas. He's a punter, he's using it for his own thing, and he puts the improvements on.
He can't bear to think that he's not 12 lengths ahead of the field, can he? He dead set. He pulls the whip on himself.
Does that mean he's only 88 lengths off Glenn?
He's a skinny spirit.
That's it. He's off and gone.
One thing I'll say about Hawkesbury, you've also got to be careful of the horses that actually win easily and impressively.
Flat, you just got to condense the form there. Like the flattering runs, you're not as good. The forgive runs, you've got to forgive more.
All right, so that's your observation.
And it's also
why is that the case? What is it about Hawkesbury that makes it that way?
If I knew, I'd still be betting there. It's bizarre. Horses will be travelling and bolting at the 600 and find nothing. Other horses will be gone at the 600 and just keep finding. And that doesn't transfer to other tracks. And also, like Gosford and Wyong, the races there are much stronger than Hawkesbury. I think trainers are voting with their feet a bit.
Right, but surely trainers, like everyone of you that doesn't know, loves the idea of a long straight, don't they? Isn't that why we've got a long straight at Hawkesbury?
I don't know. You think you take enough decent horses there over a time and they underperform, you just say, fuck it, I'm not going back there.
Yeah, there's definitely, certainly Wyong. Amazing to think that when we first started going to Wyong, Glen, that M. Sylvester and Gordon York just used to win every race on their Chocolate Prince horses down the outside. And now it's like you've got to muscle out the Godolphins and the Wallers and the
now. Like Gosford on Thursday, they had absolute torrential rain, and it was perfectly fine 24 hours later. The old Gosford could have done that.
Yeah.
Like even Randwick and Rose Hill, they're draining much better. The amount of rain we had in the lead up to Slipper, and they got through it. Like the metro and provincial tracks are much better.
Yeah,
I agree with that, and safer.
Much.
I'd say Newcastle's going to be awesome.
They don't slip and
yes.
It's amazing.
So
on Saturday, did you notice there was just not much kickback coming back for some reason? Like a genuine.
Oh, I'm sure the grass was actually very good.
Like
just that the lane was in. There was a lane that was.
If they've rolled it, that's just a major ball drop. And if they haven't told us, that's just negligent.
Well,
fraudulent even.
Bloody, we're treated like mushrooms most of the time. Glenn, you went to Newcastle on Wednesday.
Yep.
The new Newcastle. What do you got to say about it?
Fantastic. There you go. What do you want me to say? Look great. Look fair. We came from everywhere.
Good track.
I'm happy betting on there. I like
Very
it.
good.
It's been good to me so
Where
Need
can
I
I
ask?
find the head on in replays?
You
I
can't.
find it or
Not
not?
anymore.
You can't.
So,
You can't get Stewart's vision.
all right, but put it out there. Is there? Someone might know. How do you get a look at the head on, other than they've gone past the post, and Sky just happens to play the head on?
And you happen to be taping it at the time.
Gord's talking about the last race at Newcastle. He felt that the margin was this far, and there was a shift, and there was a bump, and that not only was there grounds for protest, he felt that the protest should have been upheld, and the correct weights went straight up, and everyone needs to get home because it's been a long day at Newcastle.
Yeah.
That's what Gord's talking about.
And
he wants to check what he saw because you can't find anywhere to check, which seems ridiculous.
Well, remember, like
why can't we see
pre Sky Channel, you had to get the VH check,
Yeah.
and then be the normal view, and then the head on view right the way around.
Yep. So we in
As
fact,
convenient as everything is now, we might have lost a little edge not having that anymore.
yes.
It'd be great if Racing New South Wales, and like Sky would obviously have a head on camera everywhere.
Yep.
They put the normal replay followed by the head on.
Well,
replay.
when you're watching the races at the track, when you're watching the replays at the track, you get to see the head on.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you can see it on the track.
yeah.
So you should be able to put it on the website then.
Shouldn't be that hard.
by the way, it's something you could ask, and I reckon they would do. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the website is
All
very
right, we're
good.
asking.
Yeah.
We're asking Racing New South Wales to include the head on in your replays.
Just put tack it on the end.
Yep.
Yep. Hi guys, want to know what you guys think about punters.com.au series of articles on how to become a better punter. Not sure of their quality, being an amateur at the best of times, but they are making comment on how wide barriers are not to be feared, etc. If these articles for real, I think it's great that there are more people like yourselves that are trying to educate the public on how to be better involved in this great sport of ours.
Sometimes the wide barrier is an advantage.
No, I'm a big fan of Daniel.
Well, that's what he's saying. They're not to be feared.
He's the guy that writes these articles.
So he's done them for punters.com
He's done
as
them.
well.
He's,
Because he's done the Betfair
I've
articles.
done the Betfair ones. He's great with the knowledge he shares with people, and this is one of the things I was talking about with Twitter before and the people that are out there.
He is a great
These
man.
are all
Dan.
your new friends.
These are all my new friends. Never actually met any of them, but yeah,
Yeah,
they're my
no,
friends. Actually,
Yeah.
I met Daniel at the Betfair night the other night. He's a lovely bloke. But,
Yeah, he reminds me of Paul. He's just desperate to share his knowledge and
he's
improve
even if you don't agree with everything he writes, it makes you think everything he writes, and that's really good.
I didn't realise that punters.com had been sold to News Corp.
Yeah, they
So-
cash in plenty.
They cashed in plenty. Yeah, News Corp, if you want to buy Racing Rant, $47.60 we want.
Laurie, who's a good fan of the show, says, Mark, great work on your staking plan for Doncaster today. Level staked many of your selections, picking up freestanding dividends, and it's somewhat. The best I could do with my own tips was Invader. Great work.
You had a really good day on Saturday, mate. Congratulations to you. Probably the best day ever.
Where did you have it's somewhat mapping? That's a great find.
Well, it wasn't about it mapping. Look, it drew the slow lane at Rose Hill. It was a slowly run race. He managed to pick up along the inside. I thought, that's a horse that did something last
And
start.
apparently it was underdone too. Like I should have given it more, but
John, who has been praying for Snowy to get onto the rant.
This is praying. Does this praying work? You were praying?
Well, obviously it does in this occasion. There's some good anecdotal evidence for you.
What about the praying beggars? Have you seen them lately? Like the beseeching beggars that are on their knees. There's one on the corner of Mountain Street and Broadway,
I
Parramatta
always
Road.
give them money because they look like they're really going no good.
I wonder
I
if
always
the
give them
beggars-
$20 and $10, and I haven't got any money. It's funny because all the multis walk past them and give them nothing. I can't work it out. They look like they're going no good. You should give them money.
I wonder if the beggars track their results. Praying
On this
position.
corner, I got 50,
Yeah.
Over there was 300.
the
Not
hourly
a bad
rate.
return on investment.
All right, Praying John says, hi Mark, beaten, stripped. Let's hear about the other 6 shirts the old yank lost. 1 each week is fine. Keep up the good work. Cheers, John. Who was referring to the...
Woodcock stories. I'll give you the last 2. I'll give you some more later on. I can't do one every week. And then Warren will start hearing about it and chasing me.
hi Mark, I've been buying
Don't know
from...
what he wants to be paid off either.
Been buying from a putters show and now racing around for about 4 years, and I've never seen a set like you produced on Saturday. You had a winner at 20 plus, 40 plus and 50 plus. What was the 50 plus? I don't know. Unbelievable, not to mention a place getter that paid $6. Oh, I suppose. Your staking plan is easy to follow and perfect for someone who enjoys a punt but hasn't got time to do the form. Great work. Hope Glenn had as big a day with mounting yard mails you did with your staking plan. Regards,
I had an
Chris.
okay day, but nothing like Mark's. I found a few winners first and Chautauqua, and you would have backed Diddums, if you got my stuff. You would have backed John Snow. So yeah, I went okay, but Mark was outstanding.
Question for the rant from an undiscerning punter. Whether it cost the race or not, Bowman dropped his hands prior to the line on I thought so on Friday. The third time I can think of such an incident in the past month. Well, I think it's a bit longer than past month, but it's certainly the third time.
He did, but I know why.
The official margin supports at the minimum an inquiry, yet I can find no steward's report.
No. What the problem here is with Huey there is the horse shifts out where it's shitty Gosford, it's $50,000 to the winner.
Yep.
The horse moves out. He goes, well, I'm going to straighten up because I'm not losing the ride on Winks for a holiday. Oh, I got beat, bad luck
My
punter.
issue
It
with
was
the
a
race in the last-
$150,000 race.
But it's
Bad luck punter. I'm not getting
But
the
it's,
time.
that's not the issue. The issue is the ride during the race. How bad was it? Like,
What did he do wrong? He tracked up in the right spot?
all he has to do is sit there another 50 metres and he gets the run the winner had. Or if he's taking off, if he has to make the decision to slide out for wide, he took off way too early.
I thought he rode
And
perfect.
the reason the horse shied was because it was getting so bloody tired.
Jeez, I think you guys are a bit Hugh Bowman harsh today. We got the HBH man here.
Does his wife watch the show?
She's a nice girl, Chrissy. And don't worry, Chrissy wouldn't give you up a right Les, but she will punch you if she can.
That's all right. That's fair enough.
She has a go, Chrissy. She goes all right,
What is
Chrissy.
all with all these aggressive women in Gucci?
Yeah.
Who's the other woman choosing?
Well, you got Sal, you got
Sal.
Anna.
Sal's not aggressive. Oh, just to me. Just to
Glenn
me,
told me you should be scared of her because she's scary. That's
No,
like,
Sal's
Scary
because she's
Sal.
got a big job.
oh.
Like, people with jobs scare me anyway.
Okay.
She has a big job.
Yeah, she scares me because she bosses me around at home too. Like,
Yeah, no. Chrissy's a good girl. She's a great partner, and it's so nice seeing her so excited. But you know, her husband does earn.
All right, okay.
He
So
earns
we've got to
$40,000 a week
get
every year. Like,
we've
why
got to
wouldn't he
get rid of
excited?
Winks so that Huey can get back to riding properly.
maybe that's the key.
This is a period like Steve Arnold was with So You Think. Remember Stephen Arnold up to the So You Think race, had to win the Cox Plate, the second Cox Plate, was $1.80 for a month. He rode like a pussycat for a month. And I wanted to talk about it, but at the time Warren Huntley was managing him. He was part of the show, and Warren said, oh, go soft on him, go soft on him, go soft on him. Now I think back at it, Warren Huntley didn't want to come back with us. He's hung with them. He can go jump. He doesn't like us either. We wanted was a back. Didn't come back.
David,
With Dallas and the Croonies.
Oh, well, we've upgraded now
Wonderful.
anyway, haven't we? Dicko's having some fantastic
Dicko's going
results.
well. Dicko's going
yeah, Dicko had a day off for Bendigo on Saturday. He'll be
But I
back
remember
for
Steve
Caulfield
Arnold,
this Saturday.
Steve Arnold rode the same way. Well,
He
I'll
did
say-
exactly. You
rode
said
the same
exactly
thing.
the same thing.
And at the time, I went really easy on Steve because Warren was part of the show and he was managing him. He would be ringing me going, oh, don't be mean to Stephen. And I'd go, fucking filthy Stephen. You know, but he rode the same way.
Yeah.
All right, but we're trying to be incisive and
For example, if you drove someone's Ford round for a month, but at the end of the month you're going to drive someone's Lamborghini round, you'd be thinking, oh, this fucking Ford, I can't wait to get in that Lamborghini. You do the same thing. It's a natural thing. Isn't
Well,
it?
you should have seen me the first time I got in, drove Horry's car. I was like,
Sweat and beads.
Oh, God.
And Horry,
I don't think it's a good attitude. Well, the only parallel I have of there is, let's say, as far as team sport or soccer is concerned, rugby league, winners want to win all the time. They have that mongrel about them.
What about the week before Origin or something? You know, you don't want to do a high tackle. Or,
I don't think
They get
it stopped them.
I think
Lots
they
of
get
guys
self-conscious.
but it's like golden point. Do the rest want to blow a whistle for a penalty?
And by the way, that's only rugby league. It's not the World Game. So
The fucking wogball. Am I saying wogball racist, Mr. Racist Creator?
It is.
Fuck, it's not. It's a fucking ball paid by wogs.
All right, Glenn, you've got to be careful here because David tweeted in, look, Snowbet, looking forward to your appearance on Racing Rant. Be sure to donate your fee to Glenn's poker fund.
Is that from Dave Diamond?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
It means that...
struggling at poker.
I get beaten all the time. It's just ridiculous. What about last night? I played last night. I moved all in with King 10. Listen to this. I moved all in with King 10. A bloke shoved his whole bank with a pair of fours. Like he's snap fold. At best he uses evens because I've got 2 overcards or I've got a bigger pair. I said, how'd you call? It comes out 5, 5, 7, 7. I'm in front. King kicks. 4 on the river. It's not fucking possible what happens to
This
me.
would happen to you all the time.
Fucking hell. I just looked at the
I don't
boat and said,
know.
oh,
Hey, come
well
on.
done, mate. You got me there.
Can you think of a story where you hit the 5%er?
Never.
He's forgotten it anyway. Greg from the track, he said, now margins have broken new ground going to 2 decimal places. What the fuck is that? Dividends to follow shortly at Glenn Munsey tab.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice. We do need 2 dividends. And Greg, is that Greg Littlejohn? Or Greg
Yes, it
Nice?
is. Greg.
Yeah, we're right. We do need 2 dividends. We need a $1.89 tab. We need that 9 cents that you steal off us to pay Sally's big wages. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Take that back. Cut. Just kidding, Sal. But we need the $1.89. You have 1,000 something at $1.80, you are entitled to $1,890.
Does it go, like I've done some asking about it. Apparently it doesn't go to the tab, it either goes to Racing New South Wales to spend, or the tab put it back in the bonus.
Consolidated revenue. No.
That's right.
That's
Either way, it has to stop
Give it to us.
and give it to the people who are entitled on the day.
I've
with that
heard
money,
rumours
like-
before that when the tab in the early days was struggling, that Jockey's team did a deal and bought it off them.
Bought the round down. Wow.
Like bought the round down for like 40 million or something.
That'd be a doozy.
And over 10 years they're going to get back 85 million.
Yeah.
That was a racecourse rumour.
I'd say that's a race.
I heard they have a magnificent Christmas party. Tahiti.
Stewie, Stewie bobbed up and said, love a good Glenster story, but I think you find that horse was Scalacci, not Placid
When I
Art.
was talking about Warren Woolcock putting up the 16s and I said it was $1.60. I remember it was a hot grey sprinter, so of course Placid Art jumped on my mind. But you're right, Stewie, it was Scalacci. You were probably in part of the bets with me. No,
And so Hats tweeted back Moya Stakes, which everyone agreed about. And then Pete McCormack, who must have been Johnny on the spot at the time, must have been nearby. Was he working in the joint? He said
no, it wasn't me.
Okay.
it was Scalacci. Opening quote was 1-6. Clark put up 16-1, and no, it wasn't me.
Okay, that might have been what happened. So I said it was $1.16. But look, I'm recalling stories from 25
No. The story's great. The story's great.
Yeah, the great stories.
Wagering.
Most normal people wouldn't do it. But when you've got 3 little children to feed, it's fucking game on.
So, wagering friend tweeted, listening to Glenn enthuse about tomorrow, that was last Saturday, makes me want to risk divorce and book a flight to Sydney. Great card. Hashtag divorce sport.
Fuck. The best way to handle your wife, I give all you boys out there, is tell your wives, good as gold, let's get divorced. And watch them back the fuck down. Like all those jockeys' wives out there, they oh, look, I'm picking... Just mention them, listen, I think we should get a divorce, love, and I'll bet you they change. You are earning 30 and 40,000 a week, you little precious buggers. Well, you didn't put me in the first floor, did you, Tommy? Gaylords.
Glenn on Twitter said, and this is in response to some missionary betting that Glenn referred to on Friday, you're paying Gord out for missionary betting,
Yeah,
or missionary position betting.
Funny how Glenson knows any other position. Hashtag
Well,
like
I-
a virgin.
Oh, I
Damn like a virgin.
I tell you what, Saturday's results were more like the reverse cowboy, I reckon.
Reverse cowboy.
I don't know what that is.
Google it.
BJ tweeted, thank God for the preview show, hashtag Diddums.
That's just ideal.
And Glenn back, Glenn on Twitter,
I thought Glenn Harper was a bit of a nerd.
Well, you know, he's just keen. Like he's
That was
keen.
pretty funny what he said there before.
No, he does. He's
Funny how Glenn knows any other position. That was funny, Glenn. So good to see you loosening up a bit.
And then,
Harley.
he says, P. Moody on Channel 7 taking every opportunity to plug sales and stallions. FFS, hashtag filthy breeders take over.
Good on you, Glenn. Oh, you're getting more into the rant. Oh, mate, beautiful. He's
Now-
on the rant.
Now, there's some story that apparently you may know something about, and I don't know whether you want to talk about it, Snowy, but Kyan on Twitter said, I don't know a whole lot about this story, which was someone pretending to sell Sean's tips.
That was funny.
Do you know what the story is?
There's a lot of shifty people on Twitter, and one of them's this Weekend King Race or whatever his name is, and someone forwarded me a screenshot of something he was selling, saying direct from Sean Bartholomew and Steve Fletcher, the hot oil. We've sourced it for $4,000 a week, but we'll charge 10 people $300 a week, and we'll cop the last 1,000 for this. And me being the shit stirrer that I am, texted the photo to Sean, said, good to see you're a whore like me now. and Sean being Sean just got his lawyers straight on the case. And
Poor old Weekend King,
and,
eh?
I sent the same text to Steve, and he woke up 24 hours later and just wrote back lol.
Sean, who's I've already read Kevin's. Sean Mini Leviathan tweeted, hashtag Ask Snow, where can I buy some Tang?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
So,
This orange drink.
yeah, well, I think apparently you can get it in Foodworks in Melbourne.
Do you drink Tang or something?
What did you research this, Mark?
No, someone else tweeted at the same time. I didn't put it in, but
Right. Is that nearly the end of the
No,
email?
it's nearly
I must have missed the lead up to that conversation.
nearly there. No, we've got a few more. Derek Derrickson said, hi, Ranters. Interested in your thoughts on H. Bowman right on? I thought so. We've already covered that. Dirk from Dapto said, how gone is C. Waller if it wasn't for Winks? You wouldn't know it in mainstream media. He had a few favourites midweek at Newcastle that didn't even place. Has the juice come out of the orange?
Is that what the Tang represents?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's
That's
referencing
it.
something else there
That's
as
it.
well. Yeah.
Dennis from Denniston said, does Nathan have a bad beat story, maybe a pre-post or futures sting that came unstuck? Come on,
There's one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I can't even remember who's told us. There was a race in Singapore, of all places. And I
This is sounding good,
this is a
juicy.
funny story. Rocket Man, I think, was the horse. It was $1.20 in the race.
I remember
or whatever.
this story.
It's
Was
gone-
that
I
Paris?
can't, you probably were. It was 4 or 5 years ago.
I was this.
And someone called us and said
They're betting each way
they're betting each way. It's all in betting. It's on the Monday.
and quarterly odds.
And Rocket Man's going to be scratched.
I remember this. I was involved. I was all over this.
And Rocket Man's going to be scratched. This joint's betting all in. Do your best. So we backed the next 4 runners in the market.
Yeah, all each way.
All each way.
And they all missed the place?
And they all missed the place.
Yeah, I was in that fucking sting.
Well, that's why they all missed a place. What were you doing involved in Pollock?
Rookie mistake. Wasn't it? I was young and green.
It was just like outrageous. Getting 16s and 10s and 12s each way,
Yeah.
and they all like started 2s and 3s and 4s.
They all
'cause
started
Rocket Man-
first 4 in the market and they've all missed the place.
and they all missed a
In
hole,
field of
and it
eight.
was a complete strip. It's fucking not possible, Mark. I'm telling you. If
Oh my God, that's
any
a
of-
great
any
story.
Any church leaders out want to know where Satan resides.
And that's why
I
any
have got
sort of
3
stinky
6s on the
mail
back of
you
my
get or
shoulder.
Anything like I never have huge bets on anything like
I'm
that.
so unlucky.
Because it's just there's just ways that these things come unstuck all the time. No
Oh.
matter how good it looks. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
But I mean-
that was good though.
that was as good.
It was
as
so good you didn't want to crash
All
back
right, so
on.
that's the ultimate rort that's come unstuck, but obviously there are lesser rorts that come unstuck all the time, but we don't have them anymore because racing's got to be it's got to be clean.
Well, the thing that makes it a bit unsavoury because it's so clean, because it is really clean. To all the punters out there, like, the old days are well and truly gone. Sure, there's a couple of horses have a few runs first up, but for everyone that does, the stewards get someone every 2 or 3 months, and the jockey goes, why the hell did I do that?
It's much cleaner now than it is.
Super clean.
And you're right about like the first and that's not the jockeys, that's the trainer and instruction.
saying-
Half the time,
And then the jockey doesn't know the form of the race, and next thing it's a flashing light, and they give the kid 2 months.
half the time when you see a poor ride, it's due to poor instructions. Like
I agree with that. So it is super clean, but the only problem with the super clean racing is that the map has become super clean. And the map being super clean with not being able to do something different to where the ball game has made it a touch sterile and boring. A lot of races look like trot races. They
All
didn't
right,
used to.
Nath, you're close to Gunn. He's prepared to right outside the box, isn't he?
Yeah, well, you know, like
Well, the Skitty Spirit was outside the box in the Oaks.
that was a bit of fun. Like, but you have to have a trainer like Lee Curtis and an owner that were not only happy to go with that plan, but were keen to go with that.
Oh, so
plan.
you're saying that the trainers and the owners have been so cultivated to play this way, to fit into this.
Well, it's just, you know, you try something new and it fails, people look at you like an idiot. Like even during that Lasqueti, the VRC Oaks race, my emotions during the run, when he was out by 10 lengths or whatever, is please don't fall in a hole and look stupid. You know, and then on the turn I'm like, oh, hold on and run a place, hold on and run a place. And then the 200 it's like, oh shit, it's going to win.
By the way,
all right, but you're very worried about how it's going to look if
Yeah.
it doesn't come off.
Yeah.
And that was with the full backing of the trainer and the owner.
Surely
on a
nobody-
150 to 1 chance.
Yeah, okay.
because
I'd
if it
say it's
did-
easy
if it
to do
did-
something like that on a 150 to 1
That's the
chance.
thing,
If you
it's
gave
150.
instructions like that on a
7 to
5 to
2
1
chance.
chance,
Like,
you'd,
next thing you
yeah.
get 6 months.
Like, you know, we'd be happy to try it if the trainer was happy to go along with it, but how many trainers and owners are happy to try that sort of thing?
And I wonder when Mr. Waller gets his instructions for when he has 5 in a race. How do you massage the owners
Oh,
when maybe there's only 2 are really ready to win and 3 are like they're in their prep? How do you handle the owners?
Well, that's why.
That's the
like,
genius
Waller's
of
no
him.
better trainer than anyone else. He's the best
People manager.
people
ever.
manager, marketer. Like you got to ask yourself the question: if would he have risen as quickly and as fast as he had if there wasn't a TV network and its main personality being his main advertorial each week? You know, every time he trained a winner, this is the greatest trainer in the world. Yada yada yada.
Right, so does he need that back or not?
Well, he doesn't know now.
He
He
doesn't
can't
need-
train.
he
What's he
doesn't
going to
need
do?
it
Train
now,
another
but-
100 horses?
But you know, if he has a year or two like his last 3 months, things may change.
Which would be good in itself.
Well, his last 3 months, and then there was the 3-month period before that. So he
There was
came
a hot-
good
there
for
was
what,
a
2
hot
months?
2 weeks before that. There was a hot sort of 2 or 3 weeks in between the 2 downtimes.
All right. So you've just described some peaks and troughs there, but how do you handle Waller day to day?
It's hard work.
I quite enjoy it.
It's hard
I-
work.
I don't struggle.
I find it hard work. I find-
Manning our mail gives me a lot with Waller runners.
I imagine it would.
it really gives me a lot. I really know where they are and
like
how
you
he
know,
trains.
you know he can train. You know something, whatever it is, it's just not happening there at the moment. The horses aren't as good as they were, but
Just
he's
take it
too
on
good
a
a trainer to
horse
just
by horse
write
basis.
off. You know, like
No, you've got to-
he'll be back at some point.
Oh, my word.
Look, the only thing different I do with Waller is that I actually give a positive for an inside draw because he's more
That's a very good point. They're very negative from wide draws,
Yeah.
especially early in the preparation.
Especially on Thursdays and, Tuesdays and
And that's
Saturdays
something
and
you
Kemba.
just, like as a punter, you got to be aware of those sort of
Yeah,
things
they're
and adjust.
Apparently, D Weir is quite similar. They're positive from inside draws and negative from wide draws.
I don't know enough about it. So.
I think it was another question. Dallas from Dallas. Nathan, if you could change one thing in racing / punting, what would it be? One thing. You get
One
one
thing.
thing.
Cool.
Who's Dallas from Dallas?
bring back each way betting, please.
Punting. In punting, it'd just be to expand the minimum bet law from when the prices go up.
Well, what about taking Betfair out of the
That'd be the best.
that's what we really need.
That would be the best for the marketplace for a form student because Betfair, as good a product as it is for a lot of people, and
It's
a
completely
wonderful idea,
hamstrung.
It's changed the marketplace to such an extent that it's made not as smart people able to win at the game where they probably wouldn't have able to win it before, and it's made bookmaking for the corporates a lot harder because when things line up on the fair, everyone's steaming into the same runner at the same time, and then without a Betfair and people just betting at normal times, they'd lay a lot more runners at random times, and you'd keep your accounts open a lot more, and
Right.
it'd just be a more fluid marketplace without Betfair.
Okay, so he wants to get
But
rid of.
it's not going to happen, so you just
Uh,
have to adjust to how it is.
There goes any possible sponsorship by Betfair. Thanks,
I like Betfair. I like the guys that work at Betfair.
I love it.
Why does Betfair have to be like that? Because surely Betfair, it's got $100 here and $300 there. Why does it dictate
Like the
Why does it dictate so much to the punter?
because
to the market?
There's,
There's
no rank and file mug money on there. It's all
I'll give you a perfect
relatively
example.
smart or
I'll give you an
informed
example.
money.
If you've got something marked 5s and every book is $11 and Betfair's $16 and $18, so 16, and you can have $3 on either side, you don't take the $11 because you're still waiting for Betfair to line up. It puts
and because the corporates
on,
are following Betfair as
Yeah,
well, so
and they're
the
pushing
11's going
out.
to become 14 at some
You
point.
can't take the 11s and you've got 5s But the Betfair's not there, you're steaming in.
But the problem becomes when one of the big boys go, well, that Betfair's not real, I'm just going to chime into all this $11 now and the rest will follow.
Yeah, and then that's it, yeah.
And then you're fucked.
And then you're not on. And then that's bad as well.
Just more, just back yourself.
All right, so why can't everyone just ignore Betfair then?
I do, and it's a big leak in my game because I take a lot of wrong prices because of it. Like I said, I don't want to be the one missing the boat, so I'm often the one betting before everything marries up and whatnot.
You get on tilt because you've done the wrong thing.
But have you tracked those bets if they're profitable in the long
Anyway,
run?
let's move on. This is a 4-hour show, guys.
Yeah,
lunch.
it's a very special show. We've got a quiz to come as well.
No, there's no quiz.
No quiz.
There's no quiz.
I don't know
You
why
didn't get
the
it.
email didn't come through, Nicole.
Bad luck, TQ. Good
All right, so one last question. Raquel from Randy Wicks. Panel's thoughts on...
Raquel from Randy Wicks. I've been to Randy Wicks once. I mean, I'm telling you. Go on.
Ralphie tweeted on Twitter, Randwick observation, rather than being leader biased, did Navesh Ramdani just do an outstanding job because the fence held up so well?
No. There's the answer. He didn't do an outstanding job at all.
All right, so Snowy, where do the now that people have discovered you on Racing Rant, they've obviously discovered you elsewhere as well, but where can they find you week to week?
If you want to get my set, you can go to championbets.com.au. Do like set with staking plan and bets and whatnot.
Because we get nothing out of that. Product placement.
Thanks for that, Mark.
No, but also you do a lot of writing as well. Where can that be found?
Weekly article on racing.com. Comes out on Fridays. This week doing a piece on Trevor Lawson, a punter from Melbourne. Again, someone probably most people haven't heard of, but
never heard of him.
Very successful bloke. And
Henry Lawson.
Okay, do you get to fly around to meet these people?
No, just on the phone, unfortunately. Next series, I'll have to get a racing.com credit card for that sort of thing. I did get to go to lunch with Stewie, which was good fun.
Thanks for coming on the show, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Good on you,
Thank
mate.
you, Mark.
All right, well, that's Racing Round this week. I hope you really guys enjoyed it. Preview. You boys doing a preview for Wednesday at Warwick Farm?
Yeah, I'll promise to get earlier. Now we've got no
I'll be back.
Maybe
I'll be back.
Maybe for me.
Oh, maybe. You might be doing one out, Mark.
Gord's trying to shut his microphone down. That's the end of the rant.
I'm going to go.